Black Docker Puppet Master. 1997 year. Port town of Grayford, Maine. The cold wind from the Atlantic makes its way to the bones, the fog hides the piers, and the night lights of the lighthouse flash as if they themselves are afraid of the dark. In the heart of this God-forsaken city, between warehouse hangars and rusty containers, the first body appears. And it moves. At a distance of several meters you can see a woman sitting on a wooden chair, arms and feet suspended on thin steel cables that stretch up into the dark. The mechanism above her head swings slightly, causing her body to make slow, creepy movements, as if she were a doll on threads. The face is expressionless, but the eyes are cut out and replaced with black glass balls. On your knees is an old theater poster, Great Premiere. The last scene. The first victim. Her name was Linda Harper, 32 years old, a waitress at the Seagull Wing Bar. The last time she was seen alive was the day before. She was returning from her evening shift curled up in her worn cloak. Investigators found out that she disappeared just a block from home. There were no witnesses, no screams, no signs of struggle. Detective Garrett Mason, who was in the case, immediately realized that this was not an accidental murder. Someone was preparing. And prepared for a long time. Second murder. Only a week passed when the body of the second man appeared on the old stage of the abandoned Moonlight Theater. He had been dressed in a classic suit since the 1930s, with a tilted hat covering half of his face. But the jaw was cut out and replaced with a wooden, hinged one that clicked from the slightest movement. On the viewer's chair, in the first row, there was another poster. The performance will continue. Watch carefully. On the back is a set of numbers. Later it will turn out what these are coordinates. The third murder and the first call to the police. The coordinates led the police to the cargo dock 7. There, among the containers, a lamp was barely lit in the dark. The third victim hung under it, hung upside down, arms apart, and fingers stretched with thin wires, as if to play an imaginary violin. The word "play" was carved on the chest. Here the police found traces for the first time. There was a small wooden box under the container. Inside is a music box that played a distorted melody from the famous children's song, Mary Had a Little Lamb. Detective Mason understood, the killer is not just mocking, he is creating a play. And every victim is his actor's psychological portrait. FBI profilers suggested that the killer was a 30 to 45-year-old man with deep knowledge of mechanics and stage productions. He probably had a relationship with the theater or circus in the past. His creativity and cold calculation testified. He gets pleasure not so much from the murder as from the preparation and staging itself. The fourth murder was a public nightmare. In the central square of the city, in broad daylight, a woman came out of the crowd, took a few steps, and fell. Her body twitched, and only after passers-by approached, it became clear, there was a complex mechanism on her back that pulled the ropes sewn to her skin. She had already been dead for several hours, just kept in an upright position with the help of thin wires hidden under her clothes. On the cobblestones under it was a ticket to the Moonlight Theater for October 31st. It was Halloween. On October 31st, police surrounded the theater. It was dark in the hall, only the stage was flooded with dim light. It has 6 bodies arranged in different positions, each connected to a complex system of cables, pulleys and motors. And they all began to move at the same time, creating a terrible dance of puppets. Mason noticed that one of the cables was leading backstage. There he saw him, a tall man in a black cloak, with a mask of a comedian on his face. He held a wooden cross in his hands, like a puppeteer. He rushed to flee, but, driven to a dead end, he just raised his cross and spoke softly. "The performance is over." Then there was a sudden movement, and the ceiling collapsed. Later it turned out that he had prepared a trap in advance. Dust, debris, chaos. When everything dissipated, the killer was gone. Epilogue. 5 years have passed. The theater is closed. But every Halloween, someone leaves an old theater poster on his door. And there are only 2 words on it: the next act. Disclaimer. All content on this channel is created solely for entertainment and information purposes. Some stories may contain scenes of violence, a description of traumatic events, or be entirely fictional. The channel is not intended to glorify criminals, humiliate victims, or promote cruelty. Viewers with hypersensitivity, as well as children, are not recommended to watch unaccompanied by adults. All coincidences with real events or persons are accidental, unless otherwise stated explicitly. The authors are not responsible for the use of the information from